welcome. Today, I've got a special treat for you. A review of the Aigle. She is certainly worthy of that name. Eagle. She is a predatory bird, to say the least, and she can certainly wreak havoc amongst other destroyers and battleships, all alike, with that massive HP pool. And look at that speed. So we get a closer look at the guns. Look at that, 450 alpha on HE. 450 alpha on a destroyer that reloads every 6 seconds. And has rapid reload. Silly. 6.74 kilometer detection range and negative AA. Pretty decent torpedoes. 500 alpha on the AP. Front shells tend to be very floaty. So we should be prepared that AP is probably not going to have the greatest pen. But if you've ever played a French ship before, you'll note the HE is quite fabulous. We're going to look at some of the guns in the HP pool, compare the two, and the closest gunboat is kind of like the Anshin, but even the Anshin just really doesn't quite measure up. All the other ships' alpha in their HP pool is anywhere from 3 to 4,000 below it. Their gun alpha is about 100, 150 below each shell, but they've got about the same reload. This puts Aigle kind of in a class in her own. She's got a few more thousand hit points, and she does a couple thousand more damage every salvo. That's big. But the detection. Let's take a look at the detection. 6.74. Oof. That's tough. And we're going to look and see why that's a problem. Every other destroyer is going to have at least 1.5 kilometers detection over you. That's bad. Especially if you're trying to get in and get into a torpedo knife fight. Distance is everything in a destroyer. A good destroyer player will be able to handcuff somebody with that 1.5 kilometer detection difference. So we have to keep our wits about us, huh? Can't exactly charge into caps, or can we? This seems like a problem. Or is it? The Aigle, I have to say, is probably the first true Counter-Strike setup that we have in a ship so far. She's quick. She's fast. She can kind of turn, but she's got way more hit points and DPM over any other destroyer, really, in her tier. Even the good ones, like the Anshin, we knew it, defined excellence in a gunboat in tier 6 so far. And the Aigle basically flew away with that standard, now didn't she? No matter. Even the Gallant, with her unbelievable detection radius, Fubuki and her torps, Hatsuharu and her guns, every single one of them has a significant shortcoming over this ship. How do we get it to fight? Aigle's handcuff is in her gun traverse, not her DPM. Her DPM is amazing. Could you get it? Sure. But the biggest issue with the Aigle is getting the guns to bear, not keeping them firing. Second slot, could you go for propulsion? You could. However, I feel steering traverse probably works better here because her handling is the worst of any destroyer in the tier. By far. Is that bad? No. But it just needs a little push. Speaking of push, why would we kit for speed when we have the fastest destroyer? To make her that much faster. You could kit for concealment or traverse. Either way, giving the second traverse slot would probably allow you to get a little bit closer to the fight so that you wouldn't be handcuffed by enemy destroyer torpedoes. But either way, I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to jump in Bay of Storms. Now this map in a destroyer is basically all about concealment. Look at all this open water to work with. If you can stay hidden, you can do some pretty good things. The Aigle doesn't exactly stay hidden now, does she? What do?
Defend our base. Capture the enemy base.
And we're up tiered. We're going to swoop in, We're going to spot some prey. As we've spotted this prey, we're going to fly back up high. We're going to keep that magnificent gun range that we have up to work, firing up to, 9.3 kilometers? Just silliness. It's cruiser range, especially in Tier 6. So here we are. We find an ACAT, and lo and behold, he spots us long before we spot him. We get those guns working. Notice how we could just chunk away at him. We're so far away that
Target hit.
really, even if he does fire torpedoes, which he does, you see one and a second salvo will pop up shortly. You're still so far away, and this ship is fast enough that you can just dance right around them.
Nice shot.
Ha! Beautiful thing that, huh? Striking from range, especially in a destroyer, has its perks. Watch my drunk driving here. So, now that we've kind of kicked that ACAT away, this is what I mean about the alpha in those guns. Bang. There's just 2 shells there. Now I spot Moyoko inside the center of that island. He's kind of creeping around the corner, so to say. And I'm going to swoop in because I don't think he's paying attention to me. And let this magnificent speed go to work. Just paid attention, you would have seen me bolt up to about 45 knots. And then I'm going to fly around the corner. We're going to swoop in. We're going to strike. And not even paying attention. Back to Portuguese. This is where the Aigle shines. Look at this range. Now there's a dead ACAT. There's a giant floating target far away. Those guns are never going to be able to bring to bear at me from this range. It's just not going to happen. I'm moving way too fast. I'm way too small. I'm turning all over the place.
We hit the enemy.
And see, there's a salvo right over the top. I'm consistent landing pens, I should more accurately say. That's the big advantage of the 139s in a destroyer. These shells are large enough that you can actually pen battleship deck armor, and as well as superstructure armor. It's a big advantage. Another salvo wildly missed. And see, that's another advantage of, like I said, being able to strike from this obnoxious range of about 6 or 7 kilometers away. You work your way in, find a torp, and then swoop back away. And then you're out of the dodge again. You're not even coming anywhere near their secondary range. You're still out of the way of most of the cruisers. As that York cuts in front and eats a few torpedoes. But as again, look, still so far away that all the torpedoes you'll see, you can easily outrun them. That's the beautiful range about the Aigle. She really is an eagle. She can just pick and choose her engagements, and that is such a powerful force if you know how to use it. Just play smart, play from range, because then you can always swoop in for the kill and then fly away before anyone will ever be able to get you. The maddening DPM in this ship with her reload skill is what makes her shine almost above and beyond. You can take that 6-second reload and cut it to about 3.5, which is just, you're firing 5 shells every 3.5 seconds. On a mobile gun platform that's doing 45 knots. If you don't know how to make that work, subscribe and watch. We'll show you. So we're going to jump in Southern Archipelago, another wide spread out map where you can have this run and gun attitude. You can make, well, really any ships shine in this situation. But certainly a destroyer, because of their ability to control area and control caps, Caps will win a match. A destroyer can win a match simply by capping out, and that is an important asset of the battle that needs to be
Our
addressed.
team captured the area.
Sometimes the smarter option is to not shoot.
Enemy team captured the
Sometimes
area.
the smarter option is to stay hidden. We'll cover concealment in a different video, but you'll start to see what I'm talking about here. We're going to engage enemy destroyers who are going to be popping up and popping out in different locations. And that's sort of the art of concealment that will help guide a lot of struggling destroyer captains or people that are just trying to refine their game, really.
Target hit.
See, by the time that he spots me, I'm well through my cap. And so help him, that Arizona is also well in my gun range. This Mahan, if he puts his mind to it, he could very easily make my life a living hell. His gun arcs are faster,
Engine boost activated.
they're lower, they're more accurate than mine. My shells are loftier and floatier. His torpedoes are also comically bad compared to the Aigle. However, he has 12 of them,
Torpedoes.
you have 6. So, best not engage in a knife fight anywhere near. Best to just use that blazing speed and get away. Use that insane DPM and land some punishing hits on people who need it. Like, per se, this Nuremberg who's, per se, wandered into the Eagle's nest. Aigle's torpedoes are phenomenally good at being used for area denial.
We hit the enemy.
Area denial, let's prevent an enemy from going where we want them to go. That's the concept of area denial. Oh, you want to get into my cap? You're going to eat some torpedoes. And that is how you cripple a ship. I'm out of harm's way, tucked around the corner from a ship that otherwise could very easily kill me, being the Nuremberg. But as I was saying earlier, there's Counter-Strike concept. Using speed to charge in and level the playing field and using your range. That's the concept of the Aigle. And it can do phenomenal things if you play it right.
Engine boost activated.
Such a beautiful sight. We're gonna land some punishing hits. And we're gonna swoop away. Like we were never there.
The ship is on fire.
Or
The
you know,
situation is under control.
slam into the rock. Get a double fire. Get shot at. Take a pounding. That's how much HP you have to work with here. You can take hits that otherwise would kill any other destroyer.
Torpedo spotted.
And that's the negotiating part that you can use here. You'll watch throughout this video, I'm gonna get my teeth kicked in. But the resiliency of this ship is such that it has so much HP that it can work with. So you never are really down and out of the fight because you can just keep taking hits. Which is something that not a lot of destroyers up to this point have really had the ability to do in this game. I mean, certainly you could argue the Kaba and the gearing, but
We hit the enemy. Target hit.
not like this.
We're hit.
You're seeing me just getting chunked. I'm taking the focus of the team. My team has
Hit.
taken the southeast corner of the map. I'm basically just running around with the red
situation
flag in
is under
front of
control.
the enemy team, drawing their attention and basically wreaking havoc and just eating a shit ton of damage.
Team captured the area.
And watch how much I can keep tanking in a destroyer while shelling out damage.
Our team is
And
about
that's
to win.
the big thing about this is you can really control so much of the battlefield simply by using the area that you can control with the speed of the ship. The range of engagement is entirely up to you because you have so much more speed.
Nice shot.
You don't want to fight? Oh well, run away. You'll see I'll eventually get tagged by this Mahan. But look at just how much damage I am doing to him, and this is an up-tier destroyer. I am just absolutely beating him up
Hit the enemy.
before
Torpedo spotted.
he'll wind up getting me. I'm pretty sure he's using a heal at this point, and I walk right into a torp spread, but it's gonna be pretty much to no avail. This match is just about over. And you can see very clearly that the smart strike and step in, the swoop and kill of the Aigle is super effective.